Well, I met Jesus in a bondage behind the wheel of my 87 Ford. Well, I met the devil at the bottom of a bottle, and it's getting me straight to the Lord.
Memories. Yeah, you don't want me to sing. Twitchy memories. Now, those are some fun memories.
Oh, Twitchy Dolphin, how I love thee and all of the people that you have brought into my life and allowed me to be with for a very long time. I remember in the beginning, it was within Nathan's and my first year of our relationship, and he came to me and let me know that he received a proposal from Jim and Chris and Jessica about forming a company based around film production. And since we were getting serious, and he wanted to make sure that I was okay to be along for the ride. And I said, absolutely, this sounds like a fantastic opportunity, not only to, be with our family, but our friends, and to have created, I don't think we ever could have imagined how wonderful this entire experience would have been. That it has become now. It's fantastic. One of my first memories of us as a company getting together was we flew out to Utah and we went to a couple of film festivals because we hadn't entered, we weren't there to show a film, but we wanted to see what that part of the film world was like. And that was such a fun trip. And of course, we were all excited and just seeing, other films and how people were networking and coming together. That was a really exciting point. And so, again, I heart Twitchy Dolphin Flicks, big fan. And it's been a fantastic ride.
Let me tell you a little something. When I met him, I was a little lost in my life. Didn't know which direction I really wanted to go. It was a moment that I answered a Craigslist ad to somebody posting for a music video. That's when I met him. We shot a few more things and I started falling in love with this thing called acting. Something I'd wanted to do, but I didn't know that I was able to do that. I didn't have the strength, the commitment. I didn't believe in my creativity. I didn't believe in myself. It wasn't until one job that he hired me on, first job I got fired on, that it finally hit me. If this is what I want to do, then I need to jump off a cliff and do it. It was by his example that I had enough courage to do just that. I watched a man who was creative and influenced everyone around him, believed so much in himself that he always would take that next step. And if he was scared, he never showed it. I'm an actor today because of him. I'm a creative because of him. It was why I decided to write and direct one of my first movies. There was a man who was once so honest and fired me. I didn't want to surround myself with anything less. I didn't want to surround myself with anyone that wouldn't be that honest, that wouldn't light a fire under my butt to be creative, to chase my dreams without fear, that taught me failure wasn't failing, but it was learning from that mistake and moving forward. So one of the things I hold near and dear to my heart as he is. He's the first person to truly hire me on one of my first projects. My first feature film. He was the first person to fire me on that same feature film. All because in the moment, I was too scared to make people believe in me. I couldn't say the word awkward. That's why I got fired. It's awkward, isn't it? Knowing that's the reason I am who I am today.
What does Twitchy mean to me? Family. And love and respect and talent and creativity, and the big key is genuine. When I first met James Christopher, it was on Facebook, and we were getting ready for Bare Bones Film Festival. And so then at the festival, I was posting on Facebook some photos I had taken right when he got there. And so I'm like, wait, you gotta wait. And I felt bad, but I wanted to get my post in. And so we did, and I finished my post, and then we started talking. It was like, oh man, this instant friendship. He had such energy, and it's so fun. And then Jessica was there. I love Jessica. And Shelly and Nathan and all these people started showing up. And there was just like this huge group and this such energy. I wanted to be part of that. And they were so welcoming, and they embraced my dogs. I had my Libby Girl films then, and they were just so wonderful. And so that was the year Look at Me Again screened. And I just fell in love with all of them. I love Twitchy Dolphin flicks. And so then just kind of got involved. They had one of my songs in Turkey Day, and then later they had my songs in other films, and I had roles in other films. And whenever Jim would say, hey, I got this, I'm like, yes, whatever it is, yes, I want to do it. I want to be part of that. And Jim had joked that we are BBB's FFFs, and that was the best Bare Bones Film Fest friends. And it is so true. They are Twitchy Dolphin Flicks is my very favorite film friends. I have some very treasured film friends, and I'm very thankful for, but sometimes I work on films with these other people, and they really don't talk to you a lot unless they want something, or sometimes they didn't even tell me if the films were in festivals or whatever. And Twitchy Dolphin Flicks, man, it's all about inclusion, and you are important, and you matter, and yes, we want you at the festivals. And so they would make sure everybody got the emails with all the festivals coming up and who can be there. And man, I wanted to be there. I wanted to help promote the film and interact with people, and oh, it was awesome. So we traveled all over. I traveled to meet up with them then in a number of places in California and South Carolina, and of course Texas, and up north in Wisconsin, and in between in Oklahoma, and all these places. And man, those were the days, and the best times of my film life have been with Twitchy Dolphin Flicks. I just love them so much. And it's not just the core, it's people that are part of the family, and you're going to all these festivals and doing all this work together and everything. It just builds such a family. Like Mike Donis and Carla Rodriguez, I love those guys. And so yeah, and again, best part is genuine. These are just genuine people. Here it is, this is what we're about, and let's have some fun. And so I'm grateful, I'm thankful every day that I have these folks in my life.
Do you remember the early days of Twitchy Dolphin? Were you our mascot? Were you the Twitchy Dolphin dog? Is that why your name is Twitchy Jill? Yeah? Do you remember when you were young and twitchy? We were all young and twitchy. Do you remember? No, you don't remember. You have a little bit of doggy Alzheimer's. Oh, there you go. Were you a twitchy dog? Were you a twitchy dog? You were, weren't you? You were our mascot. Do you remember shooting? Do you remember that one time you jumped out of the window of the car to say hi to Jim? Do you remember that, Twitchy Jill? You remember that, huh?
Overall, just a lot of good memories, a lot of good lessons. Like, I really credit Twitchy Dolphin with making me a better producer. When you're working on such a shoestring budget and you can manage to make feature films off that budget, and you have a community that believes in you so much that they'll keep giving you money for those films over and over and over. You know, we did a crowdfunding thing every year, and every year we met or exceeded our goal, and that's really a credit to, you know, our community. So yeah, thank you, Twitchy Dolphin. You made me a better producer, you made me a better person, you're my family, and I love you.
The Last Beautiful Girl, but James, I did not see anything on there about you talking about the Laughlin Film Festival for The Last Beautiful Girl. I was sleeping in my car, you found out day 2 or 3, and you invited me to stay in your room, which was a big win for me. I think it might have been your downfall as far as your affinity towards brisket, because I did get, oh, that's good, a little toasted on your dime, I want to say, because I had no money, so you were buying us drinks. And I got so drunk that I stole what had to be at least a 50-pound brisket and brought into our hotel room at 3 to 4 in the morning. I honestly don't remember quite how I got it. I remember walking through a tent with it, through the casino floor with it, up an elevator onto another floor with it, realized I was on the wrong floor, went to a different floor, knocked on your door, you opened the door, was like, what are you doing? I was like, I got a brisket, baby. probably more like this, I got a brisket, baby. Jay's got a brisket. Jay's got a brisket. And then we brought the brisket inside, and I took my hands and I dug it into the side of the brisket. Did I forget that I had a gallon of barbecue sauce? I had a gallon of barbecue sauce, dug my hands into the brisket, was eating it like an animal. You were trying to sleep. At some point, you could not sleep. You said, Jay, I love you, buddy. It's really late, but it really smells like brisket in here. The smell is so defying to my senses, I cannot sleep, paraphrasing. And you made me take the brisket out.
Look, truth be told, I wasn't going to be in this episode. This was supposed to be the final word for some of the people who have meant so much to this company since its inception, but I cannot let Jay stand with his version of the brisket story. First of all, it happened at 3 in the morning. I was in bed. He was hammered. Here's how it went down. Yes, I absolutely found out he was sleeping in his car. Cedric was supposed to make the trip with me, was unable to, and so I had an extra room and offered it to him. Would do it again. Here's how it goes down. I am in bed and I have forgotten to give him a room key, and so I actually leave the room propped open. However, I'm also former military, which leads to a certain degree of paranoia and just not really cool with hanging out with the hotel room open. So I'm kind of in bed, but I'm kind of just sort of half asleep. And he comes in and there is an odor. And I'm kind of half asleep and I ask him, I go, what's that? And he goes, oh, I found a brisket. And I'm like, from where? And he said, I don't know. And then I kind of doze off a bit. And then the smell really is like, it's visible in the room. And I look up and now he's in his underwear. And he's at the table and I can see through the silhouette because it's a casino town, right? So there's no such thing as true dark. You can see kind of these neon colors coming in. And he is eating the brisket by hand in his underwear. And I ask him, I go, what are you doing? He goes, I'm eating some brisket. And then he said, do you want some? And I go, well, no, I'm asleep. So then I doze off again and I wake up and then he's dressed again and he's got this thing. And I go, where are you going? And he goes, I'm going to take the brisket back. I don't want us to get in trouble. And I'm like, us? I didn't steal the brisket. So the next morning we all meet for breakfast and I'm telling like Morgan and everybody the story, and nobody kind of believes it until two things happen. One, we're walking by the front of the hotel, and there was a veterans barbecue with all these briskets laid out. Jay stole the brisket from veterans, y'all. And then the second thing that happened was Jay finally speaks up and says that he didn't return it after all. So let's go to the tape.
Happens in Laughlin, stays in Laughlin.
Oh my God.
I don't know what this is. This is a napkin, a giant picnic cloth, a metal pan, plastic pincers.
Wait, is that
straight up brisket.
barbecue sauce?
Yeah, this is a giant.
So you took it too?
Oh, it's Frank's Red Hot, my favorite.
But looks like I'm selling drugs out of here.
But while I have you, I do want to thank, I love that Ruthie shared that story. You know, I did uncast her. I hate the word fire. The best part was I'd forgotten that part of the story because we did end up rehiring her for the movie in a different part. And we did work together going forward, and our relationship has stayed great. But she was speaking to my students, and she told them, and I was like, I completely forgot. And I love that she took that positive out of that situation. And the fact of the matter is, it was as much a failure of me as a director. I should have been able to work better. It was my first film. I didn't really know. And so I hate that she had that experience. But if you need to know anything about Ruth's character or Ruth's why she will be successful in whatever she does, and it's that story. I didn't teach her any of those things. I deserve way less credit than she gives me. She's an incredibly strong and incredibly capable person who is going to succeed because that's what she does. She doesn't quit.
What does Twitchy Dolphin mean to me? The entertainment industry can be really tricky to navigate. It can be rough. It's filled with a lot of egos. It's filled with a lot of cutthroat business practices, and at least for me, sometimes it can feel like an uphill battle, and you're fighting that uphill battle all by yourself. And you sometimes ask yourself and wonder why you're doing it. But there's always something that keeps you going, you know. And it's, I guess, different for every person. But for me, you know, with Twitchy Dolphin, it was a bunch of people who unapologetically got together for the love of making movies the way that they wanted to make them, to tell the kinds of stories that they wanted to tell. You know, and while we were making that stuff, we could kind of forget about a lot of that other stuff that isn't necessarily so fun about the entertainment business, because what we were doing was making things for us. And I mean, they were made for audiences, but we got real creative satisfaction from working on these things because they were made on our terms. It was a supportive group of people who were like-minded. They knew how to work hard, and they knew how to play hard. The kinds of experiences that I had doing some of the stuff that we did, I mean, over the span of almost 10 years, like we did so many different projects, features, shorts, what have you. But all of these things helped make me the kind of artist that I am today. But the process was one. The process of making that stuff was one that represents the kinds of things and the reasons and the inspirations that got me into this business to begin with. I mean, really, the most accurate way to describe what it was a film family. It was a family that I got to join and be a part of. And that was really special.
Twitchy Dolphin means a lot of things to me. The most important being family and the friendships that I have built along the way with this company. And it's really weird to call it a company. It doesn't feel like that to me. It really does feel like a clan, a family, a place to call home, and people I know I can always rely on no matter what happens. Yeah. So I think it all boils down to my very first memory of Twitchy Dolphin. It was my very first day on set, and Jim descended the staircase in his house. It was very dramatic. It was a very Jim moment. It made me laugh. But as he walked down the staircase, he asked me, "So Emily, what do you want to do with your life? And what do you want to do with film?" So I told him, and he handed me a camera. He was instantly invested, and I guess the rest is history.
Think back on all the films that we shot. Being out in the woods for Abram's Hand, being at the beach for Going Gorilla, actually numerous really nice locations for Going Gorilla, and for a lot of the films, people were very generous with their either their homes or their businesses, and opening up to let us film there. The musicians that we worked with, either contributing music or writing music for the shows, it was amazing to experience all of it. And the end result in many cases is these films, which, when you look back on it, we were living at a time in Austin, Texas, of immense change in that city. We were obviously fairly young, getting older, some more so than others. But those films from the period of 2007 to around 2017, document a period of time in our life that, it's amazing to watch that. It's amazing to see Austin change in the background. It's amazing to see us change and grow. It's amazing to have seen people we work with, essentially as children, now grown up and doing things, very big projects in some cases. Thinking about the fact that our films played all over the world, Europe, all over North America, Canada, Australia, the Ukraine. Thinking about different festivals we attended, driving around Los Angeles in a limousine, and Muskogee, Oklahoma in a limousine for that matter. Having our films awarded at the Santa Anita Raceway in California. Attending our very first film festival, which was basically Slam Dance and Sundance, even long before we'd ever even submitted a film to a film festival, just to kind of see what a film festival was like. And, you think back on all of it, and it's mind-boggling. Who gets to have those kinds of experiences, and who gets to have those kinds of memories, and to have it recorded in some form or fashion as a forever record that will always be there for the rest of our lives, in high definition, beautifully acted, edited, and with the soundtrack. We're very incredibly lucky to have had that experience and have been a part of it through Twitchy Dolphin Flicks, and it's one of the most meaningful and important things I've ever done in my entire life, and can't say enough about all of the people and the work that has gone into it, and all the people I've gotten to meet. It's just been a truly meaningful experience from my life.
I'm singing no more whiskey for me tonight, no more killing myself just to have a good time. 'Cause I'm lucky in love, but I'm empty inside. No more cigarettes or whiskey for me tonight, no more cigarettes or whiskey for me